Hi everyone, I'm getting all set up here for the Facebook Live Nutritional Therapy Association. I'm a lead instructor and I'm just going to make sure I get a few things established tech-wise, and then we will launch in. So if you're watching the recording of this, you might want to skip over maybe the first minute and a half, so you do not have to watch the tech setup. All right, or you're welcome to, but let's see, I'm waiting for NTA. Okay, you can hear me? Great, glad to know it. All right, that was my main cue, so I sound good. Visually, it's okay, so I can launch in, it sounds like. All right, well, welcome. And if you're watching this recording, I welcome you even though it's post the actual time. And I just wanna start, I'm gonna do 3 things in this call. I'm gonna share about who I am, and then I am going to share about the program, and then I'm going to share about decision making. And if you're thinking about participating in this program, because I have some thoughts I really want to share with you. So first of all, my name is Janelle Johnson-Grove, which I know you gathered by the title. And I am a senior lead instructor with the NTA program. I teach both the NTP and the NTC program, and I'll talk a little bit about those in just a little bit. And I took this program, I was calculating this because it's been a while now. I graduated in 2011, so that means yeah, so I started in 2011, and the reason I wanted to join this program was because at that time I was so interested in food. I loved experimenting with different ways of eating, and I wanted to be a raw vegan and a vegan, and then I found the Weston Price Foundation and ate meat again and so forth. So I really loved experimenting with that. And then it took a little bit of a turn when I realized that I could eat food that made me feel better and made me feel different. And I started to draw this connection between the power of food and first of all, the enjoyment of it, but then also the power of it to transform how I felt for the better. Because I grew up with your standard American diet, eating Twinkies and peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and that sort of thing, just because that was the way things went in that era with all the families around me. And then I had that inkling. And then when I had my first daughter, she at that time would have this low-grade sickness all the time, and folks around me would just say, you know, that's normal, kids get sick a lot. But she was sick all the time, and so I realized it just did not settle well with me, with that mother's intuition, and that something might be off. So I started to play around with what she was eating, and that, sure enough, after time, changed this low-grade sickness that she had all the time. Then fast forward to my second daughter, and when I was nursing her, she had thrush. And I had thrush, and it was, if any mother is listening out there and has had thrush while nursing, you will know the extensive pain that was. So I was highly motivated to address this through nutrition because I didn't want to stop nursing. So through that pathway, I found the body ecology diet, and for that was a big turning point for me, in that I could see the change it literally made in my body ecosystem, and the thrush went away. And then there were these ripple effects into other systems in my body, so that I felt better with my second daughter than I had felt even in my 20s. And I was so nervous that I would have serious postpartum with my second daughter, as I did with my first. And through these dietary changes, there was the mental piece that was enhanced as well. All right, fast forward a little bit more, and I was so excited by these changes with food. I wanted to support others in their changes and know that food and diet had this capacity for somebody to have a more vibrant life. And so I started to share with friends, sometimes unsolicited. They were so gracious to me in sharing all that. And then I realized as I was sharing things with individuals that some people might have different needs than I did. And so I thought, well, how can I formalize this so I could really understand what somebody's body might need, because it could be different than what I need. So I began my explorations, and I looked around and I found some different programs, and the Nutritional Therapy Association won me over as far as providing more scientific bent with the academics and having the specific assessment tools to understand how I could look into somebody's physical symptoms and their body to therefore develop a plan that would meet their specific needs. So I joined the program, and Caroline Behringer, I see that you're on here, Caroline, hello. She was my instructor, and the first, oh my gosh, Caroline, I always feel emotional now, but the first workshop I went to and I saw Caroline there speaking, I just knew, like, oh my gosh, I love what she's sharing. I just felt such a resonance with her and the curriculum, and I knew that like this was the course for me in a bigger way I could understand at the time. So that was a shift, and I mean, look, here I am 8 years later, and now I'm an instructor from that first inspiration with Caroline. Just snowballed from there. So I have continued on, and here I am today. So after sharing about me, I wanted to share about being an instructor, because now I'm on the other side, right? Like, I went through the program, and now I'm the one facilitating the program for so many students. And I just love instructing, and I feel like it is a huge honor for all the students who come into my class to be on that journey with them, to have the container of the classroom, to support them in that. It's really a transformational process from that first day that they're starting class to then the graduation. And it really, I see so many lives that are changed. It's not just a purely cerebral experience, and it does have that. It's very strong, but it also changes people's lives because they're implementing what they're learning. They're learning how to eat and live in different ways so that their lives change. And then it has this ripple effect out into their friends, their family, and their communities. And it's changing lives, and it's changing the world in all these ways around the globe. And it is so exciting to be a part of that experience. So that's one of my favorite things about being an instructor. Now, you've heard me mention that there's 2 programs provided from the Nutritional Therapy Association. And one of the programs is the Ntp program. When I'm saying I'm pausing because I see some comments coming in, and I'm so glad for all of you who could join. It's nice to see you even in this way. Thanks for the wonderful comments. So the Ntp, Nutritional Therapy Practitioner, and NTC, Nutritional Therapy Consultant, they both have some similarities, and then there's some differences. So if you're thinking, wow, I really want to do this, but I don't know which one, I will talk briefly to those, and then I know that NTA staff is really helpful if you want to dig in and hear more specifics. But they are both 9 months long, and they both are a distance education program with the online interface. They both have Zoom calls twice a month, and they both have the core curriculum, which is looking at the foundations. And a few of those are looking at the digestive system, the blood sugar system, minerals, and both have the client consultation process. Now, to speak a little bit to the differences, the NTP, the Nutritional Therapy Practitioner Program, has the online plus 3 workshops that are face-to-face. So you travel. For some, it's very close. For some, it's a longer distance. And the first workshop is 3 days. The second is 4 days. And the third workshop is 3 days. So they're interspersed amongst in the middle of the 9-month program. The NTC has 0 workshops, so it is 100% a distance education program. And that's actually where I'm seeing more of the international community join, just because of that component. Now, the have these right now because I want to make sure that I get it all. There is a cost difference between the two as well. The NTP program, Nutritional Therapy Practitioner, is $5,900, and the NTC, Nutritional Therapy Consultant, is $5,400. Now, they both address supplement usage in addition to the food component. Food is primary for sure in both programs, but the NTP uses them a little bit differently. The NTP program, it's a practitioner program, so there's this hands-on component as one of the assessment tools used to discern where there's imbalances in the body and to support those imbalances. So it's a hands-on assessment. So this is a program for those that you will actually be touching bodies and assessing through that. And then the supplements are used in that process to discern what supplements and the nutrients in those supplements to best support the body, to bring it back to homeostasis, to bring it back to that balance in alignment with the dietary and the food and the lifestyle. So it becomes this beautiful picture of supporting the entire body with that clinical hands-on piece. The NTC program, Nutritional Therapy Consultant Program, does not have the hands-on piece. So you are provided with other assessment tools, and you are using an emphasis on the culinary wellness and the lifestyle component for individuals to enhance and support and bring bodies and symptoms back into alignment and homeostasis in that as well. Another difference between the two programs that you'll experience, I mentioned that both have the Zoom calls, which is like a webinar, kind of like a Facebook, but over in Zoom, you get to see people twice a month. The NTC, the consultant program, also has a provision of a course mentor. So all the students in that program are divided into cohorts so that you're not lost in the numbers. It's a large class, but you're broken down into groups of, it's different from class to class, between 8 to 10 individuals become your cohort, and that becomes your intimate circle so that you can have that place to speak your voice, questions, need support. And each cohort has a course mentor that oversees that cohort and meets with them by Zoom one time per month, in addition to those other 2 calls led by your instructors. And so that way you can have that more intimate setting to voice things and work with your classmates as you work through the course. So it's a really nice setup there. I will mention then the NTP, the practitioner program, has additional support as well beyond the instructors and the associate instructors. They have group leaders, and that interaction happens more around the workshop time where you meet them there, the relationships form there, and they really help with facilitating and supporting what the instructors are leading at the workshop. So there is that additional component there. It just shows up in a different place. Let's see. Okay, so a couple other things about the program. So if you are thinking about doing this program, it is a commitment for sure. It will involve 20 hours per week for your studies and for the Zoom classes. Now, I will say sometimes there's weeks where it involves more and sometimes it involves less, but on average, it is 20 hours per week. So we don't want you to take it lightly or be surprised when there's that call to your time to invest with the program, and that it will involve that. And the thought that, well, what does an average week look like for a student? And that really depends, because I have students who are doing so many different things. I have some mothers who are working full-time and have kids. I have individuals who are single and they have a work and home life that is balanced in a different way. I have some that work the night shift. And then I have international students who have a 10 to 12 hour different time frame. So it's the whole mix shows up. So what it could look like is I'm getting a cue that my connection is bad. So I'm gonna pause and check in with NTA. Can you still hear me okay, even though I'm getting this signal? that my connection is poor. I mean, it's no fun to watch a blotchy video. Let's see, okay. I'm gonna pause. What's showing to me is that my video is stopped. Can somebody who's watching, if you can hear me, cue me that you can hear me okay? Let's see. We can hear you is what I'm getting. And somebody says it's breaking up, a little bit blurry. All right. Well, NTA, you should give me a shout out, and hopefully I'll hear it if my connection's okay. The part I wanted to say, thank you for the feedback, everybody. The part I wanted to say about an average week is that someone will wake up, they'll go to work, they'll find pockets of time during the day to do studies, evenings, weekends, some of the audio components they can listen to while they are driving. So there's that option too. And regardless of the other life commitments, the students are so committed and passionate that they find a way to make it work. And they have the support of their family. And even honestly, sometimes some families are more supportive than others or friends, and they still can find a way. And so what's really great is that if there's a challenge, you can even reach out to your instructor to come up with a game plan. If you're just, you know, I'm on the hump run, this is a bit difficult, what can I do? And then together, the instructor and you can create a doable game plan so that you can stay on top of your course requirements. Let's see, and then one other question before I talk about decision making, all right? And NTA, I'm still getting that cue that on my end it's paused, but I'm guessing I'm still coming through. So let's see. Okay, great. Still getting the good cue. All right, so a final question I wanted to address is that sometimes individuals are like, well, it sounds like a great program, but what in the world am I going to do with it when I'm done? What is there to do with this besides having all this great knowledge? And I want to show that there is a lot you can do. And I have a list here, and I'm going to read through some of those things. Now, the most common thing that individuals will do is a private one-on-one consultations with clients so that they can help individuals specifically to discern their nutrient needs, lifestyle needs, and support them to meet their health goals and that change. A lot of individuals will also do group education and group coaching. So some will just teach about the foundations or teach about how the body works or foods that support the body. Others will do a group coaching so that individuals can come together and share their goals and their struggles, and the nutritional therapy practitioner or consultant can help them in that coaching session. There's some individuals who also work with corporate wellness settings, and they will teach individuals in a corporate climate to support their well-being. I even know I've heard of one NTP through the grapevine who works with truck drivers, and they're the truck driver community. There's also individuals who will create meal plans for individuals in their community, and those that are more online based will create it that way. Cookbooks, you can develop wellness programs, coordinate and do retreats for individuals, and then there's also community organizers. So there's a big food access issue in our country, and in those that are in international students, the food access has there's questions around that as well, and supporting that. And so for United States-based students, question of urban farming, equitable food, and nutrients provided across race, class lines for everybody. And then international communities, they are working for that provision that are unique to their countries. And the other thing that's great is for those that already have other professions. Let's say there's massage therapists, physical therapists. I've seen personal trainers, counselors, psychologists, physicians, chiropractors, and so forth come in and take the program as well, because then it enhances and rounds out the work that they're doing with individuals. Because as you know, the body and the mind is so intricate, and there's so many ways that it can be supported. So that's an enhancement. It augments the work that they are already doing. All right, now I want to share about making a decision and thinking about this decision, and then I will sit here for a few minutes and see if you all have any questions that you would like to share, and I can do my best to answer, or nutritional therapy can answer here or afterwards. So if you are listening, and if you're able to, I want you to sit down, and if you can, to just write down a reason why you wouldn't take the program, and just think like, well, what are your reasons for not? And I'm just gonna pause for like 10 seconds while you think of that and write that down. Okay. And so why I wanted you to do that is I have worked with so many individuals who are making the decision to enter the program, and I've worked with students who are deciding to stay in the program, and I have worked with graduates who are deciding about their next steps in their work. And what happens that I hear are some common reasons that are preventing them from moving forward. And the two biggest ones that come up are finances and is it the right time? And I want to say something specifically first about the time. And I got this message from my coach, Lisa Fabrega, and she really just highlighted this to me. And I want to say this, that there is never the right time. There really is not such a thing as the right time, because you create the right time. You have the power to choose. So when you are really ready for something, then you make the time. So the question for this program is, are you really ready? Are you ready to move forward with this dream? Are you ready to create the time that you need to do this program? Are you ready to find the finances to make this program happen and to do it? Are you ready to move forward in action rather than just imagining that, oh, someday I'll do this, someday I'll be this person? It's not a matter of being passive and waiting for the time to show up for you, or waiting for the finances to arrive and be in your bank account. When it comes to stepping forward with your dreams, you decide, and then those are secondary, and you can make it happen. And I have seen it through hundreds and hundreds of individuals. So when you're thinking about this program, I encourage you to get into that heart space and say, is this my calling? Is this my next step? And if it is, make the decision decisively. The time will happen, the finances will come, and I have not seen students who have made that move regret it. So that's my encouragement to you about making a decision. I hope you all are still here and have been able to hear me. Nutritional therapy, can you give me another comment that you can hear me and are hearing me? Because I'll stay on. If you have questions, you can start typing them in. There's always a delay between the question and it's showing up. So I'm going to sit here and wait, and hopefully I will see, and I'll scan through because there were a lot of comments here, and make sure I didn't miss any questions. Okay, good. Nutrition, you guys can still hear me. Thank you everybody for the kind comments. I have some of my old students on here. I appreciate you showing, even taking the time, right? They're not even thinking about doing the program and they're here, so that's so great. So I don't, I've done some other Facebook Lives, and this has happened before, where I'll hang up and then the comments will show their questions. Some of the names that are on here, I haven't heard your name before, so please feel free. Any questions, I'd love to field those or help you as you're sorting through this, whether you're thinking about the program now or down the road. In nutritional therapy, if I didn't cover anything that you thought would be beneficial, you can please share a question with me as well. I'm going to get a drink. Okay. I'm going to wait 2 more minutes. Here's one. Yes. Okay, Katie. So I read your mind with finances, and is this the right time? Thank you. Thank you, Katie, for being honest about that too here on Facebook. And I appreciate your authenticity there. And I don't want to downplay that those are big concerns for individuals. I have just found that it's not, it's helpful not those to be the driver's seat of a decision like this, because this is a big decision. And for so many, it's a heart and life calling. And that's where I encourage you, Katie, to tune in into that place. And if you feel the alignment there, then I know you have the power in you. I've seen it with so many individuals that you can make the finances happen, even if you can't see where they're going to come from now. When you are living a life that's in alignment with your heart and soul, it's the world, things align and come for you. So I send my best to you, Katie, in that decision, and hope this has helped provide some clarity. All right, I will wait about 2 more minutes. I can stay longer, but if I don't see anything in 2 or 3 minutes, then I will just end the video. And if you're watching this later, if you're watching the recording, you can put your questions into the comment box. I know NTA will be watching it, and also you can reach out, call in. The staff at NTA is phenomenal. They're so helpful and warm and friendly, and they will guide you through any question, even if you think it is so small, that they will help you with that. Okay, oh, here's a couple more. I'm registered for the San Diego NTP class and I'm excited to get started. Oh, I am glad you said that, September, because I forgot to mention the registration dates. Okay, started in September. I struggled with the decision mainly because of finance. Oh, but I'm so glad I went ahead and registered. That's fantastic, Kim. I am thrilled that you registered. San Diego is a beautiful location. I know you're going to enjoy it, and I'm glad you're feeling that excitement and peace about your decision. I'm excited for your journey. Melissa Mulkey, student loans. Do you know what the time frame of repayment with the loan company the NTA uses by chance? Melissa, I wish I did. I don't NTA. I don't know if you're on here are unable to answer that for Melissa so that she can make her can help her with that piece. I am going to try. I have the registration deadline. That's key, and I forgot to mention that. So let me find that piece of information for you. Okay. So the classes begin September 16th. That is when the fall classes start, and the registration closes September 6th. So you have a few weeks here to decide. Now the class capacity is 50 students for the NTC and 40 students per class for the NTP. Sometimes classes are smaller, but if a class gets to 40, and so if there's a certain location that you're looking at, you're like, I really am thinking about this particular location because it's near where you live, or for some it's maybe their family is nearby and it becomes this great travel experience. You can go to the class and see your family. Please do register soon, because if that class gets to capacity, then you'll have to go to a different location. So right now I think we're still good on spaces for all the classes. Let's see. So Kate, yeah, you're absolutely right. It's just like the decision to pursue better health through better nutrition. You just have to decide, and now is the time, right? I mean, we only have the present moment, so let's live it. And then Kim, since I live in San Diego, am I able to travel back and forth to the location or each day, or do I need to plan to stay at the hotel? You know, Kim, I haven't taught in San Diego. I've taught more in the, because I live out east, I've taught in DC and Ann Arbor, and I have students that do both. Now DC is unique because you've probably heard the reputation as far as the traffic. So some local DC students, and when I say local, I mean 60 to 90 minutes, they will stay at the hotel because they don't want to deal with that incredible commute. Now, if San Diego, I don't know what the commute is like, but if there's not a concern for heavy traffic, then it is absolutely fine to travel back and forth at the beginning and end of each day to the hotel. And then that way, if budget is something that you're working with and considering, then that would save you some money as well. Okay, oh, so, and Melissa, I don't know if you saw nutritional therapy is responding to you. So they're encouraging you to, they've provided a number or email so that they can talk to you about the specifics regarding the financial setup for paying back all of that. So I hope you saw that, Melissa. And typically, Kim, the workshops, some instructors organize it a little bit different, but generally they're from about 9 until 6 each day. So there is that time. I mean, especially at the end of the day, you'd have plenty of time. And then we're just hoping when you're traveling too, that it's not so hectic that you come in maybe frazzled from the traffic, hectic, so that you can have a peaceful and calm start. So do whatever best for you, but you definitely have that option. Okay. Okay, great. I'm so glad you saw that, Melissa. All right, just pause here again. It's funny because on my end, there's nothing, and then suddenly there'll be like 4 comments that pop up. So it's like there's a delay and then they all load. I've appreciated you all coming out here today and connecting. It's been so good. So nutritional therapy, any other things? I think I've covered it all, and I've appreciated your questions. Oh yeah, so you used to live in DC. Okay, good. So you know the difference. So you know exactly what I'm talking about then versus San Diego. Oh, in San Diego, that climate, my uncle lives in San Diego, so I love going to see him sometimes. It's beautiful. All right, I think we are good. I hope you all have a lovely day, and that those who have signed up already, just revel in that, because you have made the decision. And just by making the decision to sign up for this program, you have already gone through the portal of change. Like, you have already entered into that next phase of your growth, and celebrate that, rejoice in that. Like, this is a super exciting time. For those of you that are thinking and pondering, remember first to get into that alignment, is this the next step that your heart and soul is leading you to, that you feel an alignment for what you are here to do. And then if that is a yes, then the finances, the time will follow. It will. All right, best to all of you. Have a lovely afternoon, and I will connect with you some way, somehow at another time. Bye-bye.